The general information is when the dog was found, it was running from the bench to the steps.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not true.
Is it not?
The dog was trying to get over that stile.
Oh, okay.
Live on this park here.
The mobile phone and the harness and everything, it could possibly be a decoy. Again, we don't have evidence.
And your gorgeous dog Willow's been spending a bit of time with us as well, and it's also that thing that Willow may well have seen.
I know
To Nicky.
I know. And then also having Willow, who probably does know what happened, but she can't tell us, can she? And
is it not significant that Willow was running between the bench and the gate, not the bench and the water's edge? I mean, I'm not expected to be an expert on dog behaviour.
And I'm not either.
But what do you make of that? What does anyone, what have you consulted on that?
We have consulted people and we're ongoing with consulting people, but obviously I can't speak to the dog.
We're on Dr. Adley. So all of this took place at 9:40 at the earliest. Finding the dog, the phone, and finding the lead. Is that correct? Which PF replied that she didn't find the lead. There wasn't a lead there. There was a harness, but she definitely didn't find a lead.
What else did you see as you got across the stile?
This is where Penny was like, I climbed over the stile. I saw what I saw apart from the dog. I saw a mobile phone on the bench. And then she saw between the bench and the river, she saw a bundle in the grass. And she thought, oh, I wonder what that is. And walked down towards it. And it was one of those dog harnesses things.
Okay, and Dr. Hadley said, was it clean, or has it just been dropped, or has it been stepped on, or didn't you take any notice? Did you notice anything?
And she said, I didn't really take any notice, to be honest. It was just a bundle on the grass.
So do you recall if the harness was moved onto the bench or not? Can you assist us any further today?
And PF replied, she doesn't. She's absolutely sure that she didn't move the harness. She just left it there. She's sure she didn't even touch it. Certainly didn't move it onto the bench.
Then and did you examine the mobile phone, and did you make any calls?
Yeah, some of these questions might be repeated because obviously they was a bit hard of hearing. So she actually saw the dog tied up at the bench facing her as she come through the metal gates, and it was tied up with some yellow baling string, and there was a phone on the bench with a dog harness. She said it was a blue one, she thinks. she actually saw the dog tied up at the bench, facing her as she come through the metal gates, and it was tied up with some yellow baling string, and there was a phone on the bench with a dog harness. She said it was a blue one, she thinks.
The coroner wanted to know, was the phone active? Was it working?
She replied, no. She picked the phone up but couldn't get it into it because it had a lock. But when it lit up, it showed Paul's family and his children.
So you recognise the picture of the people?
And she replied that she didn't know them. But Roger knew who it was, but we didn't know where they lived or anything.
Okay, so your husband recognised.
I've just said the name again, haven't I?
It's all right.
And she replied, yes, he recognised PA.
Yeah. So, what did you do after that, please?
So she said that she picked the phone up to try and find out the owner of the phone, but couldn't get into it. So she thought about, she put the dog harness back on the dog, because she didn't know that anyone had gone missing.
So she just thank you for confirming that the lead was attached to the harness. Can you recall where the dog harness was when you got to the area by the bench?
She just said that the dog lead was attached to the harness, but she hadn't spotted it when she put it on the dog at the time.
And do you recall the whereabouts of the dog harness? Was it on the bench?
She said yes, it was on the bench next to the phone.
And Miss Cartwright then goes on to ask, so I can see you've mentioned the time when PA arrived. Do you remember when PA was handed the phone, him saying something to the effect that the phone was still connected to a Zoom call?
And she recalls that when she passed him the phone, she told him there was 3 messages on it, or something, and he knew the password and unlocked it. He opened the kissing gate, and to the right is the bench, and he found it quite bizarre because there was a mobile phone and a dog harness, and the dog, later known as Willow, was tied to the bench. My initial thoughts that someone got caught short, and had to go to the bushes.
And the coroner just asked, what did his wife tell him to do? What did your wife say?
And he replied, she actually said, do you want me to come? Because she's more savvy with the mobile phones than he is. So she asked if she'd like him to come up and join him, and which she did.
And when you picked the phone up, was it still connected? Was it doing anything? Was there anything on the screen, or was it just all blank?
He said that he's not sure. But when SJ picked the phone up, the wallpaper on it showed a picture of which he recognised Paul, but he doesn't think it was live because PA had to put a PIN number in it.
And the coroner just confirms, so you don't think you knew his name was PA, but you just recognised him from the dog walking?
Yeah, he replied, agreed that, yeah, he recognised him from a number of occasions that they've walked along the river and he's seen him, but he doesn't actually know who he is.